You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm and Jupiter. A world-class experience. Visit BremenBMW.com. And by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T, go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Oh, man, what an exciting day, huh? Opening day, baby. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to it. It is Kevin in here. Got Diener, and since Ricky Bobby is getting all married up, we got our boss, our boy Leo is in here.
Special guest. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He is a diehard Yankees guy, by the way.
Huge.
And coming up here as we get ready for Yankees opening up here, you're going to hear it at 640 The Hurricane. Coming up at about 3:20, he's going to be breaking down, giving us the insights that only one Leo can do.
Yes.
And give us all the thoughts here of Stanton joining the Yankees. What's going on? Talking pitch and everything, baby.
I felt really stupid earlier today when we were going over some, just some different things for the show and whatnot. And I was getting some stats together for us so we can kind of know what we're talking about today. And as I'm sending the email, I'm like, Leo knows all this already. I'm like, why am I sending him this email? And it's just, I felt really dumb.
Well, what I want to do, I want to see if I can shake him a little bit because here's what we got. I'm all Marlined up, baby. I got Marlins head to toe. I'm holding on to hope. And so here we go. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm still a little salty about the whole Stanton deal. And so I'm going to see if I can't trip him up a little bit. I'm going to be the dark side of the Yankees lineup this year because there's so much positivity that's going on right now in the Bronx that.
Listen, here's the thing you need to know about Yankee fans, okay? We're not positive at all.
Okay.
That's
all right.
that's
good.
So you're not going to hear any Yankee fan. As soon as Stanton was traded over, there was not one Yankee fan that said, okay, we're winning the World Series.
Okay.
Yankee fans don't live that way. We are pessimistic by nature. I literally go on a chat board for every single game, and all we do the entire game is bitch about the Yankees.
Really? Is it that bad?
They can't do anything right. Now, listen. Do we expect to get to the World Series and win it? Well, yeah, every year we'd like that to happen, but we're not over there like, oh, Stanton's here, that means World Series. I mean, look, there is 162 games. There's a lot of stuff that can go on. So yeah, let's break it down. But you're not going to make me more pessimistic than I already am.
This is going to be good. Then I'm going to feel a lot better about this.
Yeah.
I want to hear just how bad it's going to be for the Yankees.
How bad it could be.
I'm actually looking forward to this segment now. I thought it was going to be like, gosh, we're going to be doing 20 minutes of nonstop. The Yankees are awesome, and I'm going to be miserable.
And the thing that scares me the most, the thing that scares me the most about this season is how excited I am. I'm like I couldn't sleep last night
because your Christmas.
I'm thinking. I'm so jazzed about this team that they're going to start off like 0-16. Like, this is what's going to happen. That's what scares me a little bit.
Awesome.
I'm just, real awesome.
It's going to be like when the Heat got LeBron and Bosh and everyone and they went 9-8 to start the season.
It takes it seems like when everyone talks about it, you always hear the breakdown. Oh, these guys were one game away from the World Series last year, and they added the National League MVP. Okay, that's great for last year. This is a whole new year.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, look,
so many people I think outside maybe of New York then think that they've just added in Stanton, and they're looking at exactly what Stanton did last year.
Sure.
Which, by the way, if you want to break down his numbers, last year by far was Stanton's best year ever.
So most games he's ever played, correct?
That's the thing.
Most games he's ever played. But the most home runs, and by a good bit. I mean, 59 last year, and we'll get to all the numbers. But before that, 37 was the best he'd ever done. So, I mean, we're going to bring it back to reality here. I mean, is Stanton going to do 59 again or more?
No. I mean, listen, everyone talks about the short porch at Yankee Stadium and that little jet stream where if you noticed in spring training, you could tell he was obviously working on his other way swing. He was going oppo most of spring training. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but he hit 4 balls off the wall to right.
Okay.
So he was definitely trying to get in that groove of getting the ball. Because if you get the ball up in the air going to right field in Yankee Stadium, it's got a good chance to go out.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that now because he's at Yankee Stadium, he's hitting 65 home runs.
But he's in a better ballpark for home runs.
He is.
Yeah.
Sure he is.
Yeah.
Sure he is.
He did 3 in the spring.
Yeah.
And that was just playing around and having a little bit of fun, which, that's normal.
I mean, I look at the lineup and I go, okay, so for opening day today, you've got Gardy, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez.
Look at Gardy. He's a personal friend.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, man, we hang out.
You guys text each other.
This is what the New Yorkers go, yeah, Gardy,
Right.
yeah.
And Sancho. But anyways,
remember we talked about that nonsense the other day. Boone was trying to throw out the Judge is going to hit leadoff.
I think he's just messing with people. Why would you put Judge leadoff? Look, I get it. He has a great on-base percentage. That's awesome. He strikes out a ton. But wouldn't you love a pesky guy at first base? Like, say Gardner draws a walk or he gets a single, whatever, but he's on first base.
Yeah.
Then Judge comes up. You've got a pitcher who's worried about a dude that's going to maybe steal. He's got his mind off the hitter, and when you got a pesky guy at first base, like back in the day when it was Ricky Henderson, the pitcher forgets.
Yeah.
He may not locate right. He throws a mistake. Now it's 2-0.
Yeah.
You want a guy in front of these guys that can kind of disrupt the pitcher's rhythm a little bit.
It's more of a mind game.
Yeah, I think so.
You're not worried about Judge zipping around the bases.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not fast. He's just
big
a
boy.
big dude.
Did Aaron Boone flat out lie then? I mean, or was this just an idea and he threw it out there and they decided against it?
People have thrown 17 different lineups possibilities.
Yeah.
And listen, with the people on this team, you could throw up 7 different lineups and none of them would be wrong, by the way. Because when you're stacked like that, you've got a lot of chances to do cool things. I think right now the one thing that surprised me about today's lineup is that Aaron Hicks is batting above Didi. Now, I feel like that's because it's a left-handed pitcher. It's Hicks. He can switch hit. He's got great numbers against lefties. Didi doesn't have great numbers against lefties, so you put Hicks behind Sanchez to guard him. But that was the one thing that I thought was a little what people didn't expect for today's lineup.
Okay.
So
if we were playing basketball, is there any team that could beat the Yankees? You've got Judge at 6'7", and Stanton is what, about 6'6"?
Good question.
I mean, is there any team that can compare if we did a pickup game?
I mean,
throw the best at us.
Here's the craziest
thing.
thing.
You got how tall is Chapman?
Chapman is about 6'6" also, and by the way, none of them are the biggest dude on the team. Dellin Betances is 6'8".
Is he really?
Yes.
Man,
so he's not. Those two are not even the biggest dudes on the team.
So if we broke it down and we were going to have a pickup game, you got to go Yankees as well.
Yes.
It sounds like it.
All right, they've got 2 sports covered.
Chapman can be like that tall outside shooter, like a Mike Miller, stand on the 3-point line and hit threes. I mean, they're Blake Griffin size.
I mean, they're big boys. They are big boys.
Insane.
We got a lot more Yankees coming up as we lead up to the Yankees. Going to be live here, 6:40. The Hurricane right about 3:20 first pitch. We'll get to that. But we've got a lot of pessimism that we get to throw out as Marlins fans. I mean, don't take all of our thunder. Hey, don't you love that? Leo comes in here and wants to talk about, the sky's falling for the Yankees. No, the sky's falling for the Marlins. You can't steal our negativity.
Listen.
But here's the one thing. Okay, look. Let me give you this for the Marlins fans.
Okay.
And this should be something that you lay your head down on your pillow at night every night, and you get to say this one thing. Yes, Stanton got traded to the Yankees. Okay.
Yeah.
You still beat the Yankees in the World Series. You beat the Yankees in the World Series when
How many years ago was that,
they were
Leo?
coming off of
Leo,
that.
dude, that's 15 years ago.
But
are you serious?
But the Marlins have gone to 2.
Wait, your positivity is from 15 years ago?
My point, though, is that for a team like the Marlins that's as young as it is, right? It's a young franchise, and you've already got 2 World Series under your belt,
true.
one of which you've beat the New York Yankees. And on that year...
How many Yankees got again?
27. But they've been around since the 19th.
Come on.
They've been around for 104 years.
But really with this...
Man, I'm trying to help out here.
I appreciate that.
I wanted to come out miserable as a Marlins fan.
Well,
and I was looking forward to it.
Look, this year's going to suck for the Marlins. I won't sugarcoat that. But what I'm saying is, as a franchise, you got to say, wow, you beat the Yankees in the World Series in a year when they were coming off of the now manager Aaron Boone's dramatic bottom of the 11th, 7th game winning home run that took them to the World Series. Everyone expected the Yanks to walk into that World Series and trounce
Well, they'd had
the
a
Marlins.
run. I mean, since what, 96? I mean, how many World Series did they take? Yeah.
No, 4. 4.
Okay.
Sorry. 4.
I mean, they had it. You're right. They had it. 2003 was great. And keep in mind, too, for the Marlins, too, a Cubs team that really, if you remember that series, the Cubs had the momentum. They had everything.
Absolutely.
I mean, I hate to pile on the guy, but Bartman changed everything.
Yeah, well, it also had something to do with
dude, that was a big out. That was going to be a huge out.
I mean, your shortstop's got to make that double play on the next pitch.
I know, but that sucked all the air out of that Cubs team, and then that was it. And then the
have
Marlins
to score another 5 runs after that.
Yeah, so Yankees fans thank Bartman also for losing that, because I think the Marlins got some steam after that.
Poor Bartman.
They started to believe. I know, like I said, I hate to pile on the guy, but come on, man. All right, so let's look at the Marlins opening day today, and let's just point it. It's just fun.
It's already 3-0.
Gosh, first pitch
the first
was a
pitch.
home run. Did you see that? Urania's first pitch was a home run. I mean, wow.
If that is not an omen for the season, when the first pitch of the season ends up going out of the park.
There's just so much.
Yeah.
So much. The thing, there's a lot of stuff, just honestly, you just got to laugh at a lot of it. The one thing was DJ Khaled coming out, kicking the whole thing off with the new Marlins theme, which I mean, does anybody like this thing? I mean, it's
apparently not.
It's laughable. It's very funny. It really is. The new Marlins theme is just unbelievable. And so they have DJ Khaled out there. They wheel him out there on this like makeshift. It looks like something you would see the stage look like something you would see at like a high school pep rally.
Yep.
And so they wheel out the stage, and they got Khaled. He's out there doing his thing, and he's rocking back and forth to a crowd of maybe 100. Like,
oh my Lord!
At a DJ Khaled club gig, he is going to have a lot more people watching him perform. And here is just a little bit of
here's a taste.
Just a taste of Khaled earlier.
Make some noise for my brother, Grammy Award winner, Pooh Bear.
Oh, right, Pooh Bear. I forgot to do that.
But listen to the echo on that.
I was going to say.
They said that the acoustics are a lot better. They kept the roof closed for Khaled because they said the acoustics were going to be a lot better that way.
But if there's nobody in there to absorb the sound,
echo.
you just got so much emptiness.
And he's dancing around.
Man.
He looks so uncomfortable. I felt so bad.
It was rough. Jason Derulo, Miramar Boy, came out and did the national anthem. He did a great job on that.
Wow.
It's kind of a mix between sexy and Disney.
It's not Fergie, at least.
No, it's not.
I'm surprised he didn't start off the national anthem with Jason
He
He always starts it off with his name.
Between he and Khaled, they all got to throw out their "We the best."
Right.
Yeah, Jason Derulo.
They gotta have their tags, man.
Coming up here in just a little bit, got a lot more baseball on the way. They've got the highest grossing baseball movies of all time, which is a stunning figure. Also, we got a little bit about Marlins attendance, why it will likely be the worst in the majors, and it's not just because of the lack of people there. I'll tell you why. Coming up.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, hashtag Kevin's Other Show.
Opening day, Kevin's Other Show. We got Diener in here. Ricky Bobby's out today. Leo, vying for the title of the greatest Yankees fan of all time.
Sure.
He has it right now, right? Like he carries that belt around. I've
in this
seen
building.
Yeah, it's in this building. I've seen the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very excited. He barely even slept last night. He's living on the adrenaline of the Yankees game. Going to be coming up here today, 640 The Hurricane. We're going to be giving you that action. We got other stuff other than just baseball to talk about today, though, as well, including the NFL Power Rankings that are out. And we move from doom and gloom on the Marlins to doom and gloom on the Dolphins.
Why do we have to do this?
I honestly, I don't want to. I really, and I'm trying to look for the good. I'm just giving you the real, man. ESPN's got their NFL Power Rankings out. Guess who finished below the Browns? Guess who finished dead last?
The Dolphins?
The Dolphins.
Wow.
I was going to say the Marlins, but I guess it is the Dolphins.
Wow.
We're talking
All right.
NFL.
All right, fair enough.
Somewhere the Browns are high-fiving themselves. They're like, they can't remember the last time they weren't dead last.
It's unbelievable. They've got, of the 32 teams, they got Cleveland at 30. They got the Dolphins at 32 in the power rankings. And what they're doing is they're kind of like talking about, okay, coming up this season, if these teams played head-to-head, this is the projections that ESPN is kicking out about the NFL.
No. Cleveland, did they win a game?
No.
Okay, so
No, you're talking about an 0-16 team.
0-16 season.
They believe that here in 2018, the Browns, an 0-16 team last year, is going to beat a Dolphins team that was 6-10, and everybody in Bristol believes that the Dolphins have made themselves worse in the offseason. Then got better, and they believe that Cleveland got that much better, that they would jump up from Cleveland, obviously the worst team in the NFL last year, but they're at 30 now. Dolphins are at 32. They say if they played head-to-head this season, the Browns are favored to win.
I believe it. Wow. I do. I mean, when you think about they have Jarvis Landry, right? They got a former Dolphin on there now.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon is going to come back for a full season in how many years? I don't know. And they can still get better, the Browns. They still have the 1st and 4th draft pick.
They've got draft picks. They've got more cap space. They've got everything that you want right now, and already they put them in the driver's seat.
They're still the Browns. Let's not forget that.
I hear you.
They will screw up those first 2 picks. They've had the first pick. How many years now? Like they're the team. That has had all these high round picks and continuously don't get better. That's really hard to do, by the way.
No, it is.
They've mastered the long-term suck. It's amazing.
It's true.
It really is.
But if you want to talk about draft day blowing it, there's probably only one team that can really contend with Cleveland, and that's the Dolphins. If you want to go back and look at the abomination, last year, Mel Kiper gives the Dolphins a C for their draft in 2017. But you look back at all the Dolphins busts, where they've got any players a lot of times is free agency.
You will never be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who picked a kicker in the first round that they released 6 months into the season.
That's true.
You'll never be that team.
Yeah.
That was like the worst draft pick of all time.
That was the Florida State kicker, right?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now. But that was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, his brother was a kicker too,
yes.
right? Yeah.
And then he ended up missing like extra points in the preseason, and the poor guy was never the same.
Yeah. Now, looking at what the Dolphins might do, it's amazing just how over the board like everybody is in their projections. If you're looking at Omar Kelly from the Sun Sentinel, he's got the Dolphins picking up Baker Mayfield in the first round with the 11th pick. That's his projection now. And I think he is going, and I'm intrigued with what he has to say, because I think he's putting a lot of this into the efforts off the field that the Dolphins are putting into this guy. There is a love affair going on. And as much as Gase is still trying to talk up Tannehill, man, oh man, do they really love flirting with Baker Mayfield. They're putting in a lot of time for a guy they're not going to go after. They are spending a lot of time with him. They're doing dinners. They're doing the courting. It's all of it, baby. They're holding hands.
Is he going to even still be around at 11?
Mel Kiper's draft boards have been weird, man. Just every day he is like, yesterday we were talking about Kiper's draft board, and he had the 4 top quarterbacks going in the first 5 picks.
Right.
So it's all over the map. And now today, with Kiper's last projection, he's got the Dolphins going with Florida State safety Derwin James.
The information here is just insane, because if you go, say, to CBS Sports or wherever you go, you're going to see a different mock draft every time. Fox Sports has a different one.
Everyone's so different, and it's fluctuating. From Kiper day to day. Yeah. He's all over the place.
It's true. And it's just because of all the misinformation that all these GMs throw out.
What do you got, like another month before?
Yeah, it's still about
5 weeks.
You got like 17 more mock drafts coming.
Yeah, and who knows? It's going to be all over the place. But, when you're talking about an investment of time that's at least looking at a franchise's intentions, if Baker Mayfield is available and they've got the 11th pick, I think the Dolphins take him. Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt. I guess what they're looking at. Somebody they're not even going to be sniffing with is Lamar Jackson, former Boynton Beach High guy. They seem to have no interest, and they're making note of that. Put no time in him. Lamar Jackson is kind of like sniffing around the Dolphins facility because by NFL rules, he's allowed to work out there because he lives in the area.
Okay.
So that's just one thing that the NFL allows. And so he's sniffing around. He's like, hey, guys, what's going on? They're like, yeah, what's up, dude? And they're like walking the other way. There's zero interest, it seems like, with the Dolphins and Lamar Jackson. So if you're a homer and you're like, oh, it'd be great to see the Boynton Beach kid playing for – it's not going to happen.
At all? Or just – I get the first round, but at all they're saying that's kind of like the vibe, second round, third round, if he falls that far?
If you're even looking at him for the second round, and, some people were saying that possibly – looking at him for the second round, then they would be looking at him a little bit more than they are, and they're not. In fact, Mel Kiper was saying that not even Mason Rudolph is who the Dolphins should look to in the second round if they got to pick for quarterback. He's throwing out the quarterback from Richmond, University of Richmond.
The Richmond Spiders?
The Richmond Spiders. And he threw, I looked at the stats of this guy. To me, not even close to the same ballpark as Mason Rudolph. I don't know if he's degrading the Big 12 that much, saying that those are the kind of numbers that you have only when you're playing video games or in the Big 12.
Yeah, that's either way.
But yeah, that's who Kiper thinks the Dolphins should pick up in the second round.
Well, and here's a crazy thing, and I'm just reading this about Lamar Jackson, is a lot of the NFL teams are saying they're having a hard time setting up any time with this guy. I guess he's being managed by his mom.
Yes.
They're trying to set.
Yep.
They're trying to set up dinners, appointments, anything to just meet with him.
Yeah.
And they're not. That's not getting done.
Nobody wants to play that game because Eli Apple's mom, Annie Apple, is like just insane, and she's ruining his relationship in New York and trying to run his career. And people are like going, "Why are we hiring our mothers now all of a sudden to be our agents?"
Yeah.
I don't know why they do this. And look, I'm all for, the love of mom and everything. I'm not going to go down on that, but it's not helping your case.
No, mom's got to learn how to return a phone call. Look, this is still a business, and look, you've got to be respectful. And if it starts to get around the league that you've got a momager who's feeling herself right now.
Yeah.
Look,
nobody wants to deal with the headaches.
That could be a thing.
Okay, so what do you think is more damaging to a prospect? A guy who's got a momager or a guy who is a known partier like a Baker Mayfield?
Ooh, I mean,
what would you rather roll the dice on?
It depends on the talent. I mean, at this point, you would say roll the dice on Baker Mayfield because of the talent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, do we know how much he actually parties?
I don't think he parties a ton.
You know what I mean?
think it's unfair. Everybody, because of size, because of style, they want to make him Johnny Manziel. And with that comes the baggage of a guy who had to go through rehab. I don't think Baker Mayfield is rehab material. That's the one thing that's unfair. You can compare everything else. That is fair. But the rehab and the level of partying is not. And, the funny thing about it, too, how hard does Gronk party? And I guess it's because you see the performance that nobody even worries about it. Gronk, what was this stand-up that he was doing, or he was just on stage? He's trying to, he's breaking into entertainment.
Right.
And tell me if you find a future for Gronkowski in stand-up comedy.
But I'm telling you, you win the Super Bowl and the party doesn't stop. Yes, it doesn't stop.
What are they clapping for?
It keeps on going and going.
Because they're all hammered.
Every bar I go into, people want to buy you drinks. Yo, Gronk, let me buy you a drink. Yo, let me get you a beer. Yo, let me get you a shot. Hey, man, how about you an IV doctor? I got to see.
I had to bleep that out. It's just curse words.
We won the Super Bowl, but I lost my damn liver from you guys. All your guys' fault that buy me shots out there. Damn. All right.
He's not even really doing stand-up.
He's not.
Just leading a frat party.
Right.
I mean, that's all it is. It's like the drunk guy that has stood up on the bar and is just rooting everybody on to chug.
He's not telling jokes, and people are like, oh, my gosh, this is amazing.
It's not even stand-up, dude.
Hilarious.
He's just leading a frat party.
That's on Showtime if you want to see it.
Okay, well, opening day going on. We got more baseball leading up to the Yankees coming up here on 640 The Hurricane. This show's on YouTube on demand as well. You can watch it. Kevin's other show. I can't even believe these numbers. The top grossing baseball movies of all time will leave you shocked, especially when I tell you that one of the top grossing movies stars Rob Schneider. I'm not messing with you.
Whoa.
I'll give you the rundown coming up next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
It's opening day, baby.
Yes.
I feel really underdressed because you came in with Marlins gear, the hat.
I'm sorry.
the jersey. You have your name on the back of your jersey shirt, and I'm in here just regular clothes.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm all baseballed up.
Yeah, we got our boss Leo sitting in here for Ricky Bobby today. He's very psyched about the Yankees. Oddly enough, I'm psyched about the Marlins, even though they're right now losing 4-1 as we're recording the show, getting ready. So, opening pitch, if you missed it, Urania was a home run. So that is how the Marlins started off their season, and that was after DJ Khaled. He's got to be like going, why did I come out here, man? His whole thing.
So
the video,
bad.
yeah. In fact, go check and follow us on Twitter, Kevin's other show, And you can see some video.
Was Pitbull not available? What
I
happened?
guess not. That's what I was wondering.
I know.
Well, he always does these things.
Yeah, Pitbull probably saw it. Pitbull's probably done it before and got burnt.
Right.
And he's probably like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you know what I actually didn't get the audio of, and I had just missed it when it was on. He said, "Shout out to Derek Jeter." And the crowd that was there was just like, what? There was just like mumbling in the background.
It wasn't booze. It wasn't applause.
It was just a groan.
Kind of confusion.
Yeah, like the noise Leo just made. It was just like someone punches you in the gut.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It's
too soon. Too soon, Khaled.
It's going to be real interesting to see what happens with the whole Jeter stuff. You got to look for the positive things that he's done. If I had to say, okay, what's good? One thing that apparently Jeter's going to be doing this year that I do like is they're going to be opening up the roof more.
Okay.
And we'll see how it works. They only did it 6 times in 2017. I guess the reason, and there was a reason why, and it really didn't necessarily have to do with rain or humidity. It had to do with winds. The Marlins 0-6 when the roof was open last year.
Oh, so it became like a superstitious thing.
They can't win when the roof is open, apparently. They're probably like, oh, wow, look, the roof is open.
I mean, it's hot. It rains every day. I get it. Wouldn't you want to play in a controlled kind of atmosphere?
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. And they're only talking about right now 6 games last year. They say as many as 12 to 18 they're going to open up for this year. And that's going to mainly be April, May. And then, again, when you get into September, they might open it up a little bit more.
I'm just wondering, is it like free to open up the roof? Because if he's spending money on opening up the roof, I am very surprised he wants to do this more.
I think it would cost more because
it would, right?
Because you got the AC cranking, and it's just, I mean, I'm
surprised they have the budget for this.
Dude, somewhere my dad would be like, "I'm not cooling off Miami here, folks."
You're right.
Close the door.
It's a very dad thing to scream. They're doing something different, too, for the Marlins when it comes to attendance that actually might drop them from 27th in the majors to dead last.
Uh-oh.
They say that they're only going to be counting actual tickets sold in their attendance calculations. Now, last year they had an attendance of 1.6 million. That averaged out to about 20,000 a game. But if they did that same kind of calculation that they're talking about this year or last year, that number at 1.6 would have dropped to 820,000.
Wow, that much paper, huh?
That much paper.
Jeez.
And that puts them behind Tampa Bay, who had an attendance of 1.2 million. So if you would correct those stats, Tampa Bay would be next to last at 1.2. The Marlins would be at $820,000. That's a big gap between next to last and last in attendance.
Listen, Tampa Bay even tried a promotion where they were letting you bring in your own beer.
And even that didn't work?
And they still couldn't sell tickets, yes.
That's a great idea, though.
Gosh, that's one of the greatest
I mean,
ever.
beer at a ballpark's like $9 a pop. You get to bring in your own beer, and you're still like, nah, I'm cool.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Nah, I'm cool.
Oh,
That's
is
bad.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you have to break like MLB regulations for that promotion.
Wow.
And nobody still came?
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of gimmicks do you have to do to try to make this thing work? Yeah.
It's like a minor league gimmick.
They did a study how much it costs to be a fan of all 30 baseball teams. And one of the most expensive, not shocking, is the Yankees. $12,547 a year. That's looking at season ticket prices for everything from there to hot dogs and everything on down the line.
Oh, it's expensive. And, going to Yankee Stadium, if you're not, doing the transit, if you're not taking the train over there, say you just want to drive over there.
Yeah.
Parking anywhere around that area is going to be about $40.
You're kidding. Jeez.
Then when you get in, food, alcohol, anything like that, it's pricey. It is. It is.
They said the teams giving out the most free stuff are not the Marlins. They're in the bottom. So apparently what they're going to spend in AC, they're not giving out in free giveaways.
There it is. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, they're right down there at the bottom with the D-backs, Red Sox, and Phillies. They say teams giving out the most free stuff if you go to a game, Cardinals, Dodgers, Cubs, Mets, and Pirates.
Huh.
Chuck out all kinds of stuff.
That's a surprising list. I mean, most of those are winning franchises.
Right. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think the Cardinals would need to do that at all.
But maybe that's why they're winning. I mean,
maybe.
The fans love. You go to St. Louis, and they love. It's a great baseball town.
It really is.
It's one of the ones you look up there. It's right at the top. If you go into a Yankee Stadium, they said the best food that you can get. They've got a stand. You ever been to Bear Burger? You ever heard of that? They have a stand called Bear Burger, and they said you got to get with the Matador. It's a bison burger with pepper jack cheese, pickled jalapenos, pico de gallo, habanero mayo, and a brioche bun.
That does sound pretty awesome.
Actually, does sound really good. Have you had bison before? Either of you had bison?
It's pretty good, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of my time eating inside the stadium because I'll hit all the bars like right outside the stadium, and there's a couple of good spots around.
You know what? When we went, I parked on the street in the Bronx, or we wound up getting a cab somewhere out, but I didn't see a ton of places. Like, where do you go?
So if you see where the stadium is,
yeah.
Right across from there is a line, and you've got stands, and you've got a couple of the bars. You can swing around. You got Yankee Doodle, so you've got a couple of cool spots there. They got pretty solid food. So
okay. They say probably the most interesting thing going on at a ballpark this year, the Rangers are going to be selling a pickle corn dog. It's a pickle hollowed out. They're going to put a hot dog inside, then cover the whole thing with batter and deep fry it. They're calling it the Dilly Dog.
Wow.
I'm not sure what to make of this. I've really been like kind of contemplating this and trying to figure out if it's going to be good. I think I would eat it.
I just feel like they just deep fry anything, and people are like, cool.
Let's go for it.
Pretty much it. The other good thing they say, Yankee Stadium go with the pinstripe shake, vanilla shake topped with churro, cotton candy, Cracker Jack, and caramelized drizzle.
It's a meal. What do you mean topped with a churro?
Here's what look, you want to get kids to go ask their parents for ice cream, go old school. You get the little tiny plastic baseball caps. You put the ice cream in there. I mean, I had so many of those when I was growing up. That was the treat.
Yeah,
right. The little plastic baseball cap, the Yankee cap, or whatever stadium you're in. Get one scoop of ice cream, done.
I remember that, man. I've got the whole collection still.
Absolutely.
Love them. They're talking about the highest grossing baseball movies of all time. Some of the ones on the list I'm cool with. A League of Their Own, #1 top grossing baseball movie of all time. $107.5 million. I'm actually kind of surprised that's the only one that cleared the $100 million mark.
Wow, I know. That is surprising.
I would think actually it was going to be more. I mean, it's a great cast. It's a classic movie.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising. The one that really shocks me, #6 on the list, The Benchwarmers, starring Rob Schneider.
What?
$59.8 million. It's 6. It beats Bull Durham, Major League,
come on,
The Natural, Hardball, and The Sandlot.
It beat The Sandlot?
Now I'm angry. Well, here's the thing, though, too. You have to understand, some of these movies were done like back in the 80s and early 90s when ticket prices still were like, what, $4?
It's got to be part of the reason.
We've all seen, I've seen Sandlot, God, I swear, at least 100 times, but mostly just it's on cable. Like, so that's where most of the people have seen that movie. It doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so you got to readjust that list because when you got Rob Schneider beating a majority of the best baseball movies ever, there's a problem with the world.
Man.
Coming up here, got the Heat Bulls tonight. Talk a little bit about the Panthers and the Williams sisters dumped the Miami Open coming up.
Stop. No. Kevin's Other Show.
The KVJ.
Don't tell those other guys. 640 The Hurricane.
The Leafs and the Florida Panthers tangling here tonight. Pass across the front. Bozak! What a save made by Luongo! He comes across and makes an unbelievable save.
Malgin got it. Trying to get it over to Yandel, but it's taken back. And then Malgin with a strip. Huberdeau's got a chance in the slot. He shoots and scores! Jonathan Huberdeau with a big goal to get one back for the Panthers. 3-1. The drop for Trocheck, sweeping by Matthews. Trocheck centering pass. Huberdeau scores again! Jonathan Huberdeau's got 2, and the Panthers are alive. It's a 1-goal game.
Knocked away, cleared off the boards to center ice. That should do it. And there's the horn to end the game.
Not in a good way.
No,
not in a good way. Gosh, that was a crushing loss. Much needed win for the Florida Panthers, dropping it 4-3 to the Toronto Maple Leafs last night. And it's looking tough. It's looking on the darker side of making the playoffs. 40% chance if you kind of break it down. That's what they're giving the Panthers to make it.
Yeah, and isn't it like, hockey, isn't that the league where pretty much 90% of the league gets to go into the playoffs? I mean,
a lot of guys make it. We were talking about this the other day and just how confusing hockey standings kind of are.
It's too ridiculous. Like, they got to reshuffle. Hockey fans can't love how they do the point system.
It's weird. I mean, if you're just if you're not a hardcore hockey fan, as just someone who's like wants to pay attention to it a little bit,
right?
It'd be hard for you to get into it because you don't know everything.
And honestly, that to me is the biggest barrier with hockey. Is I'm trying to like understand the sport and get it. Simplicity is key, and when you're looking at you can't. Somebody that knows hockey, like Ricky Bobby's in here. He loves hockey, loves the Panthers. He's in here trying to break it down. He's like, I don't know. I can't tell if they're going to make it or not. Like, okay, if they win this, you get 3 points. They lose that, you get, like, what? A tie's this? What?
Yeah, I really feel like, too, in Florida, the only reason why people go to watch hockey here is because it's cold inside.
You're right.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't get
and
it.
And the Chicky and Pete fries, I think. That
right.
They got. Yeah.
Oh man, those are amazing.
Those are pretty good. And it's just it was sad last night. And you read some of the quotes from some of the Panther players. They were pretty down, man. They knew they needed that one. And you get down 3-0 in the first period. It's hard to come back. Credit to them. They were able to score 3 of their own goals, but Toronto scored a 4th.
Yeah,
like I said, you get down 3-0. It's almost impossible to come back. It really is.
Well, about what 2 weeks ago, we were talking about who do you like better in the playoffs, and we were riding high on the Panthers, and everything was great, and the Heat. I don't know, maybe they'll be okay. We all thought the Panthers that was the way to go, and now it's completely flipped.
It's not looking like it right now. I mean, they're 3 points behind the Devils for the last wild card spot, with still a game in hand.
Yeah,
they still have a chance.
Well, but they got 2 against the Boston Bruins coming up?
Ooh, tough.
Yeah, so I mean the schedule's remaining. They've got a lot of games, which can be a positive, but it's not when you're playing some of the best teams in the NHL.
Mm-hmm. 7 games left, 4 of them are at home. So at least you have that little home court or home ice advantage.
They have a chance to go on a little run here, maybe make some magic. That'd be pretty cool.
We'll see what happens.
Got to feel a little bit better about the Heat. They look good. Big win over the Cavs the other night. It was pretty sweet.
Give me the Cavs in the first round. Let's go. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
Let's go. You're still not going to. I've been trying to convince him, Leo, for the past week.
It's not
Let's
what you
go.
want. It's a bad idea.
Listen, LeBron is an entirely different player.
He is. Yeah.
In the playoffs.
I know.
He sits there all year long, and it is what it is. And then the playoffs come, and it's cranks it up to another space.
And it's not only just what he does; it's how he forces everyone to raise their game.
Yeah.
He is in everyone's face to a different level of saying, "Pick up the energy.
Yep.
Let's go." He's one of the best leaders postseason ever. You got the Heat going against the Bulls tonight at American Airlines Arena. Looking good. All they got to do, in fact, they can clinch tonight if they win and Detroit loses. Then they're in.
They'll officially be in the playoffs, mathematically. Because like we said, I mean, for them to not get in, they pretty much have to lose the rest of their games, and Detroit has to win all of them, maybe except one.
Yeah.
So they're essentially in. It's just that official stamp.
Right.
What I think is going to be interesting to see how Whiteside gets acclimated back into the lineup tonight, because the Heat have been playing a faster brand of basketball. Whiteside's definitely going to slow them down a little bit. How are they going to adapt to throwing him back into the lineup?
You make an interesting point with that, and it's honestly something that's been bothering me the past few days, because I'm a Whiteside guy. I feel like you pay that guy all that money, almost $100 million they paid this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great defensively. He can get you 15 to 20 rebounds a game. Great presence inside, but are they better without him?
Well, maybe what you do is, when you're resting your first team, you put him in on that second string, because that's when you kind of want to slow the game down anyways, right? Because you don't got your starters in there running and gunning and putting up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Maybe you put him in there on that second wave, let him slow it down, maybe make it a little bit more of a,
I wonder if Spoelstra's going to just throw him right in, or he's going to say, let's give it a little bit of time and let's see what happens. Let's not throw off the groove that, we've kind of got, and then we'll work him in and get him ready for the playoffs, because you don't also want to have any injuries going into the playoffs. You're right there. So why rush it? Why get him banged up again?
Unlike a lot of other sports, basketball, that chemistry can mean everything.
Oh, yeah.
So when you've got a team that's gelling like this right now, you kind of don't want to tinker too much with it, because if it's working offensively.
Well, and you're not relying on one guy. What I thought, the best thing about looking at the Cavs stats was how evenly the numbers were spread out. I mean, everybody was, you didn't see, and that was almost a knock sometimes with the LeBron teams, is he is carrying everyone on his back.
Right.
And they really are just like, I don't have to score because LeBron's got this. Mm-hmm. But the way the Heat are playing, it's really evenly dispersed on the numbers. Everybody's like going, hey, we're all contributing. And I love the way that this Heat team looks going into the playoffs. The Cavs beat the Hornets last night. They rebounded after their loss in Miami. Everybody's making a big deal of this, and whatever excuse we can have to talk about LeBron versus Michael Jordan again, we're going to. LeBron had 41, tied Michael Jordan's all-time record of 866 consecutive games with 10 or more points. So that was, of course, the big point of discussion again.
Can I end this real quick?
Please do.
With a single statement.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Era. All right. When Michael Jordan dominated basketball, if you look at any list of the top 50 players in NBA history, about 95% of them came during the era that Michael Jordan dominated.
Yeah.
He was like the best player amongst the top 50 of all time.
Right.
So why are we even discussing that?
Fair.
It makes no I mean, listen, I'm not saying LeBron's not a great player. He is. And for his time, he is up there as one of the top 1 or 2 players right now.
Yeah.
But of all time, I would never put him or anybody above Michael Jordan. It's not just about the offense either.
Yep.
How many years did Jordan win Defensive Player of the Year? The same year he was the leading scorer.
Yeah.
He was a two-way player. Stop. Just stop.
Williams sisters both out of the Miami Open. When's the last time we said that going into the quarterfinals?
Wow.
Both gone. Gotta wonder, yeah, she's coming back from having a kid, but are you ever going to see the old Serena that you did? Venus just got bounced. Serena went in the first round. Coming up here, what Leo has been waiting so long for.
It's that time. Here we go.
Yankees, baby. Opening day. We got everything you need leading up to the first pitch right here at 640. The Hurricane coming up next.
It's Derek Jeter's favorite sports show, just like Derek Jeter is Florida's favorite owner. Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Here it is, baby. It's opening day.
Yes.
If you've been tracking the Miami Marlins, they got the Cubs. It's tough. Tough to open up against the Cubs. They've been doing what they can, but it started off rough. First pitch was a home run for the Cubs. So, and
Such
that's
a bad sign.
when your ace comes right out, throws a yard ball, first pitch.
like a
that's
joke.
kind of
He was
tough.
a little wild today too. He wasn't hitting the zone too much. I think he even clipped some guy's jersey. So he's looked like he was a little hyped up for the opening day.
Have you seen the Marlins rotation? It's oh my gosh. I mean, you want to talk about just okay.
But that's look.
There's no words.
And I know I'm talking to Marlin fans out there, and I know that you all hate Derek Jeter right now. But listen, part of what Jeter is attempting to do is fix that. And yes, it might take a few years, and it's going to hurt and suck for a little bit. But the point of shedding money and getting trades and doing all that stuff, look at what just happened to the Yankees. The Yankees have not been dominant for a while, and what they were missing was a farm system. All right, now the Yankees look like they've got one of the top 3 farm systems in all of MLB.
Yeah.
That's what Jeter's trying to do. He's trying to get them in a position to not only develop great players, but in a moment when you say, hey, it's the All-Star break and we're only 3 games out of first, who do we got to go get ourselves a top-tier player? Oh, we've got this #1 prospect over here that can go get us this guy. So he's just trying to put himself in a better position to long-term make the Marlins successful.
I get that, and I saw that, and there was a massive shedding as, a Marlins fan. I'm like, okay, I heard that, and I was getting ready for that. But even after they shed Stanton and everybody else that left, they still don't have a great farm system. The Marlins are still, like, lower half of the major leagues, even after all that kind of stuff. And you're just like, all right, I really expected, because I saw the Marlins before the Stanton trade where they were. I'm like, yeah, it's bad. The farm system was not good. And then after everything went down, I raced right back out to the rankings. I'm like going, all right, baby, what are we, top 10? No.
Wow.
Still?
Like, what was it like? I'm trying to find it real quick, but it was like 22nd or 23rd, something like that. I'm like, still?
Yeah, that's not
We
good.
lost everybody?
Well, now some of those were salary dumps, so you didn't get people back for every single thing you did. What is the difference between salary from last year to this year as far as...
Yeah, I think they were trying to get down to, and I'm trying to remember if it was the lowest they had. Didn't they get down to the payroll one time was $55 million? That was a couple years ago, wasn't it, when they did the massive dump?
Yeah, it got pretty low. I'm not sure what Project Wolverine called for this time around with Derek Jeter, but they wanted to get pretty low.
Honestly, I'd be awesome if you never said that again.
Well, that's how ridiculous it is. How accentuated. That's what he named it.
Yeah. One of the best is the Braves. They're right up there. A lot of people have them in the top 2 for the most part. If you're looking at some of the other ones, I don't see it. You said the Yankees top 10, you think, Leo?
They've got to be, right?
In the farm systems, I believe they're top 5.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, it depends upon where you go, who you're looking at.
So it looks like the Marlins payroll this year is $97 million.
Okay.
So they got below $100 million.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at one here where they're ranking it up. This is Bleacher Report, and they have got the Marlins. They've got them in the top 20, which is, I don't know. They got them at 18.
Is that generous?
They were 28th last season, so they've jumped up. Okay.
Hey,
all right.
Pretty good.
Progress.
Okay. All right. I feel a little bit better.
You can now wear that Marlins jersey
I feel a little bit better.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, 18. I mean, you still got 17 teams ahead of you, but then I would have liked to have been a little bit higher. I was hoping maybe the top 10, but, hey, I guess you got what you got.
Right. For this year.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens next year?
Yeah. Yeah, as far as your Yankees over here, Leo, Bleacher Report they've got them high. They've got the Yankees when you're talking about farm clubs at number 3.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm considering where they were. Now, you want to talk about a jump.
Yeah.
That team, they had shredded their farm system. They had gotten rid of everybody. So when they traded Andrew Miller, when they traded Chapman, the pieces that Cashman got back for just those 2 guys are insane. Mm-hmm. So
and he gets Chapman back anyway, so they kind of worked out in the end there.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the Yankees coming up this year, they add Stanton, that's the marquee, the big fit, and everybody's talking about the Yankees offense and this lineup and trying to pitch around it. And you're right, you've got some, got some big bats in there. Who do you think is going to lead home runs this year? Because Stanton, I think a lot of people say that that's the obvious choice. Last year, 2017, you had Stanton at 59 home runs, Judge at 52. But Stanton, aside from last year, the most he had ever had was 37 in a year.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, Judge, I think, will lead the team in home runs, but my number 2 will surprise people that aren't Yankee fans.
No, I know what you're going to say.
It's Sanchez.
Yeah.
Look, this guy, when you take all the games, it would make him a full season guy. He was at, 52 home runs? Mm-hmm. He missed he came up at the end of the one year, and he had 20-something home runs in a ridiculous short amount of time. And then last year he had 30-something, I think 33 or 34, and he was out for a month. So when you take this guy and you say, okay, at 159, 160 games, the guy had 52 home runs. He's got power. It's really about whether he can stay healthy behind the plate, because that's a position that gets beat up. Mm-hmm. But I do think that he's going to benefit from not being the guy that people are concentrated on. I was also really hot, and I'm kind of bummed on Bird being out, because I thought a full season of Bird.
He's got up to 6 weeks?
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not coming back until, who knows? I mean, that's just the time to be recovered, and then you got to start getting ready to get back into baseball shape. So, I mean, this guy could be out for 3 months.
Okay.
But, look, I think Didi will get in the 25 homer range again. Aaron Hicks might get up in the 20s, but look, Stanton's going to have another great year. I just don't think he's going to be top or number 2. I think it's going to be Judge and then Sanchez.
Where do you put him at home runs for Stanton? If you're talking about, here's his breakdown. You've got last year he had 59. 2015, 2016, Stanton hit 27, both in those years. One of those was shortened by injury. 37 home runs in 2014. 24 home runs in 2013, then 37, 34 in your 2011, 2012. So he's going to come back probably to earth. So where does Stanton land then?
I think he'd land somewhere in between. Look, the difference that you have between the Marlins team all those years. Now, last year he had protection because there was a couple other guys on that squad last year that
had some hitters, yeah,
that were that could hit and could also hit for power. All those other years he was kind of the one-man show, so they could pitch around him. Mm-hmm. He's in another lineup now where trying to pitch around him is going to be problematic.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to do 59. I don't think he's going to do 37. I'd say I'd be comfortable with 45.
Yep. How many home runs do you get because you're playing in an easier ballpark to hit home runs?
I mean, look, you're playing half your games at home. I mean, last year, look, Judge had 52 home runs. And look, it's not that he had cheap home runs because the guy hits the ball 400 feet every time he hits it, but he hit a lot of those home runs, over 30 of those home runs, at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
So I think that there could be some fluff there for Stanton as well.
So that adds on to it.
Yeah.
The one thing, oddly enough, for the Marlins, when you're talking about shedding off Stanton, I think the name that they're going to miss more even this year, and I would argue that I think that this guy's going to have a better year than Stanton this year, and that's Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I mean, he was hitting at the end of spring training 500 for his last 20 at-bats.
Yeah.
With home runs, with power, with everything. I really think that that's the name at the end of this year as a Marlins fan. You're going to look back, yeah, sucks to get Stanton. He's pretty. But Ozuna, I think, is going to have better numbers than Stanton this year.
Yeah, and who's the first baseman? The guy that was in the home run derby last year?
Bohr.
Yeah, I mean
Justin Bohr.
Yeah, that guy's. Yeah. I mean, listen, if he gets hot, he can do some damage.
Yeah, it kind of stunk with him last year because he kind of got hurt just as he was getting hot in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, for Marlins fans, what you're hanging your hat on this year, I think Starlin Castro, when I saw him, he has a nice stroke. And you saw him last year with the Yankees.
I've seen him for the last couple of years. I've always liked Stanton. I'm not Stanton. I always liked Castro. My problem with Castro, and what will drive you nuts as a Marlins fan, is he has this weird knack of making routine plays really turn into horrible errors. I mean,
sounds terrible.
I don't know if he takes his mind off the game when he's out there, but just in really crazy clutch moments, a tailor-made double play ball to him gets booted. Plays that should be made, and they're always things that end up costing the team, like runs and those kind of moments.
He's not. He's the opposite of clutch.
I mean, now on the other side, I've seen him hit some very clutch home runs and some clutch base hits. He's a clubhouse guy, though. I will tell you that. People will love him. He's a good dude. He's a great teammate.
Yep.
So for the 99% of the time, I loved Starlin Castro.
Yeah.
Just those other times when I thought, God, man, just get your glove on the ball, dude.
He's making you crazy.
Yeah. The Marlins' best story from spring, and I think for the entire season, is going to be Brinson out in center field. Yeah. He's a Coral Springs high school guy. There's a lot of things that you like seeing this cat doing out there. I think when I saw him, too, nice stroke, lots of speed. Guy plays hard. He's excited to be there. Always wanted to do an opening day with the Marlins, and here he is. So I think that's probably your best thing.
Yeah, I think you'll have some good stories down there. Even, look. Like you said, Stanton's gone. Okay, move on. Let's not forget when Griffey and Rodriguez got shipped out of Seattle, they won 116 games the next season.
Yeah.
Not saying the Marlins are going to do that.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, look, when you take your focus off of just one person and you let the team be a true team, sometimes you get better results than you expected to get.
Do you think there's any way the Marlins even come close? I mean, you're talking about a team last year didn't make the playoffs. What are they, around 92 wins, somewhere around there? You're talking about a team that did not get into the playoffs last year. How many less games are the Marlins going to win this year?
You know what? Listen, here's the thing, too. The NL East is not strong.
Right.
Don't act like the Phillies are great, and the Mets aren't really good either. I mean, look, the Nationals are expected to be good.
They're
But that depends
on
that depends on if their pitching holds up. That depends on if Bryce Harper still does another year that he did, or does he revert back to the year before. I mean, there's a lot of tangibles there, a lot of ifs and buts. So listen, to me, the NL East, it's wide open. I think the Marlins could make a run, honestly.
Got a question about the Yankees and their pitching, looking at that, because all we're talking about here is with the hitting. But, I mean, pitching, I'd asked you earlier, I'm like, what would you rather have, 2 solid hitters in a trade or 2 solid pitchers in a trade? And you said pitching always wins and does it. Do the Yankees have enough? And the big question is, let's say we get a rematch of last year's ALCS. I saw a lot of the Astros here in spring. And seeing what they have, you've got Verlander, Garrett Cole, Dallas Keuchel right there, right at the top. Do the Yankees have enough to go toe-to-toe with the Astros if they wind up in that position again?
Let everybody remember this simple fact.
Okay.
The Yankees went back to Houston in that series needing to win 1 game to go to the World Series.
Right, yeah.
And they couldn't win either game because pitching shut them down. And The Astros have better pitching than the Yankees, starting pitching.
Yes.
The Yankees, I think, still have the best bullpen in all of baseball. And I'm not being a homer when I say that. I'm just saying when you've still got Green, you've got Conley, you've got Robertson, you've got Betances, you've got Chapman. I mean, most teams would be happy to have 2 of those guys. I've just named you 5 guys that could probably close for any other team in MLB. So it's a solid bullpen. The starting pitching makes me extremely nervous. Tanaka is a tear away from Tommy John.
Yeah.
Sabathia, his knee is always quirky, and there's going to be a time during the season where he's going to have to get that drained, and he's going to have to go get that taken care of. So starting pitching makes me extremely nervous. Extremely nervous. It's great if you can score 6 runs a game, but if you're giving up 7, it's still a loss.
Well, the quest to get back there begins now. Yankees season opener, and Leo is so jacked,
Let's go.
Thanks for sitting in here today. Thanks for tuning in to Kevin's other show, Yankees on Deck. And you can also watch this show on demand on YouTube and podcast, Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Brayman Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BraymanPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.